When you are stepping into the next level of your soul purpose, of your becoming, it is always a little bit or a lot outside of your comfort zone. So, how do we hold our energetic container as we expand, as we grow? How do we recalibrate our nervous systems so that we feel safe in this new level, this new layer, this new identity that we are stepping into? Because what often happens is we step into this next level, whether that's being seen in a new way in your business or on social media, or showing up in ways you haven't shown up, which is different. It's different, it's new, and anything new and different, the unknown, doesn't feel safe in your nervous system. So what happens is sometimes we take some steps forwards, we're in action, and then we come back, we recoil because we haven't built our energy body, we haven't allowed our nervous system to recalibrate and to hold, to train ourselves that this new way of being is safe. And with anything new, there is discomfort. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. And that's normal. And what's so important is to, in the way I work with my clients, it's all about leaning into your growth edges. So here we are in our comfort zone, what we're doing right now. But our expansion, our next level is outside of the comfort zone. And it's not about forcing, that's the masculine, forcing, pushing way outside of your comfort zone, because what happens to most of us is we recoil back. So here's our comfort zone, and it's about taking the next step and then allowing your system to calibrate and taking the next step, slowly expanding your growth edges and teaching your nervous system, allowing your energy body to calibrate at each level as you expand. And that is a more feminine approach. That is, for me personally, and the clients I've worked with, a more sustainable way of growing. And when we're in the business of living our soul purpose and sharing our unique gifts, and when we are on a timeline of growth and expansion, it is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about working with your body and pausing to do the inner work as your fears come up, as your doubts come up, as resistance comes up, versus just pushing through, because pushing is not sustainable. Working with yourself and moving at the pace that feels good for you is. So what does that look like? There's a lot of people talking about nervous system. Can your nervous system hold what you are asking for? And it's very true. So how do we hold a container of growth, an energetic growth container for ourselves as we are stepping into our next level, into a new way of being, into a new identity? And this is exactly what I do in my coaching containers. And I hire coaches for different seasons and different chapters of my life. And I want to share with you in this video of how you can hold your own energetic container as well. And an energetic container of growth, first of all, it's very important that we are kind and compassionate to ourselves, because kindness and compassion creates the space for us to get it wrong, to make mistakes, and to learn from them and to grow. That's the win. Not about getting it right all the time, but am I learning? Am I growing? Am I evolving? And when I'm kind to myself, I can look at my mistakes. I can see what didn't go as well. And I don't make it mean that I'm bad or I shouldn't be doing this or any of the stories we have. So that is a key flavor of a growth container. A key energy is having kindness and compassion to ourselves, so that, that's a big part of holding ourselves through expansion, is allowing ourselves to not always get it right, but to learn and grow from each situation and to pivot, right? To try something new, to see what works, to see what doesn't, to take the things that work, to leave the things that don't. Giving yourself room to play. And okay, this thing didn't work. That's a win, because now you know that this thing didn't work for you. Just as much of a win as finding the ways that do work, right? And holding your energetic container, allowing your nervous system to calibrate. It's about sitting with the discomfort that comes up as you step out of your comfort zone. There's gonna be discomfort. So let's use the example of being seen. When you're stepping into new ways of being seen, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, because to your nervous system, that's new, that's the unknown, and it doesn't feel safe. And maybe you have past little t traumas, big T traumas, that being seen wasn't safe. So it's also not just the unknown, it's maybe for you. And if our biggest traumas are the things that we need to lean into for our highest evolution. So this is one for me, and in my past, it didn't feel safe for my nervous system to be seen. And it is the exact medicine for this next level of my business, and the next level of my soul purpose is to be seen. It's the very thing that I need to lean into. And in our nervous system, it doesn't feel safe. So when this discomfort comes up, or you post something and then you have a vulnerability hangover, or these feelings of discomfort, instead of numbing, instead of doing whatever old coping patterns you have, a part of holding your energy body is being willing to feel, to sit with the discomfort and to feel it, so that it moves through your body. And when you feel the discomfort and the fears and anything else that is alive, you can see it. You're no longer unconsciously just operating from fear. You acknowledge the fear, you acknowledge the discomfort, you see it. As soon as you see it, you are no longer in it unconsciously, and you return to your inner knowing of what you are here to create, of what you are stepping into in this chapter. That is holding your energy body. That is reprogramming your nervous system that I've got me. This is safe. And then you take the next step and the next step, and you gotta be present. We gotta hold our energetic container when we're stepping into a new level. And there's times when we've stepped into a new level, we're coasting, we're riding it. And then there's the next level, right? So I'm talking about this transition. You're stepping into a new identity, a new level of authenticity, a new level of being seen, a new level of expansion. There's this period of discomfort, right? So being present enough to feel when there is discomfort, when there is feel, to be with it, to do the inner work. It's very important to do the inner work in these transitions and to be with yourself and to feel the energy, to move it through your body, to journal it out, and then reconnect to your knowing. And from your this is a key, do not move from fear. Do not move from fear and lack. When fear and lack is there and doubt, that is normal. That is a part of the process. Expect it, but do not move from it. When there's fear and doubt and lack, do the inner work. Catch what are the limiting beliefs. Write down what the fears are. Feel it in your body, your somatic. Where's the tension in your body? What do you need to move through you? Do the inner work when those things come up. Return to your heart and your soul and your truth and your knowing, and then take the next inspired action from your truth. And that is how we continue to expand. And that's how we rewire and we reprogram our nervous system that it is safe to be seen. And it's a lot of work at the start. It's a lot of sitting with the discomfort. And then one day, this new level of being seen feels comfortable. And it's much more easeful and there's less discomfort. And then there's a next layer because we're here to evolve. There's always more levels. There's always more layers. And it can be so helpful to work with a coach when you are shifting into a new level, because a coach holds that energetic container for you, and that's such a key part, as a coach. I hold this energetic container of celebrating the wins, helping my clients see how far they have come, how these little steps and the wins that they are doing when they forget, that holds space and works through the fears, the doubts that of course come up as we are shifting into our next level. And that sees the vision when they forget. And to have someone that reminds you of your power and your strength when you forget. And in this energetic container, and I know for myself with my last coach, it can be so helpful having these sessions. I remember one session, I went into it being like, yeah, everything's good. And I cried in that session and I needed to cry and I needed to release. And I was like, oh, I'm so grateful I had this session. I'm so grateful I had someone holding space for me. Because who knows how many more days, weeks I would have pretended I was fine to myself. But I felt and I released in that session. And then I was able to come back to my grounded center to take those next steps. So it can be so helpful to have someone holding space and someone who is a few steps ahead on the journey to who gets it, who knows it, and that can really hold and guide you to hold your own energetic container as you expand. So this has been something that's really I've become much more aware of lately, is holding myself as I step into this next level. So what would it look like for you to hold yourself? Is that feeling the hard feelings when they come up? Is that being with the fear and doubt? Is that reminding yourself to not move from the fear, but to come back into your power? Is it taking maybe smaller steps, allowing yourself to calibrate? And that's a big part of it, one inspired step at a time. And that next inspired step, it's a small step. And that little step leads on to the next and to the next and to the next. and that's flow. And as we flow, feel those emotions. And a part of that is like also knowing what are the ways you numb. We all numb in different ways. News, scrolling on social media, on YouTube, emotional eating, drinking, overworking. There are a million ways. So getting very clear on the way, knowing yourself, knowing the ways that you numb, and they'll evolve as you evolve, so that you can catch it. Oh, I'm numbing. What do I need to feel? Let me pause. Let me come back into presence. And let me feel and do the inner work so I can come back to my grounded self and then take the next step. We got to hold ourselves. We got to show up for ourselves. We got to have our own back. And being with our emotions and holding our space with kindness, with love, allowing all emotions to be here. The self-doubt's allowed, the fear is allowed, all of it is allowed. But being with it to move it through your system. And then taking one next step at a time. So let me know if this resonates. Let me know what's landed for you in this video. If you want to share the next inspired step that you're going to take. And this is the journey of growth, right? It's holding ourselves, allowing the discomfort, expecting the self-doubt as we continue to step into our new levels.